What's up, guys? Welcome back to Molly Bully's Kennels. Uh, Today, I want to talk about what I think a co-own should be, in my point of view. And excuse the my voice; I'm a little sick right now, but I'm not gonna talk about what a co-own is in its sense. I'll let y'all do the research on that, and come to your own conclusions on what a co-own is. But I am gonna talk about what I think a co-own should be. Now, I have never co-owned a dog with anyone. I don't plan to co-own a dog, and I don't think I will. But if I ever do, it'll be this way, the way I'm going to describe it in this video. There's a lot of benefits on co-owning a dog. There's a lot of pros, but there's also a lot of cons. And just to break down the gist of a co-own, to my understanding, a co-own is whenever two people put their names down as owners of one single dog in his registry. This can be AKC, ABKC, and the list goes on. Also, I think a co-own is also that both parties split the cost of a single dog. In vet bills, dog food. In some cases, it can be housing the dog, surgical inseminations, C-sections, etc. I also think a co-own you should be able to split the litter of a female that you co-own. That's my personal opinion on it. But there's also a lot of cons to it. Like, for example, there can be misunderstandings. You know, uh, one of the parties can come to, or can get to the point where he just doesn't want, and he doesn't want to co-own the dog anymore, and he wants out of it. And whenever you're put whenever you're against that situation, or you're put up with that situation, I mean, what are you gonna do? Not just misunderstandings, there's also bad communication. Bad communication, like you don't communicate as you should, or as you expect one to communicate. If you're co-owning a stud dog, your partner doesn't promote them as much as you do, so you feel you're doing most of the work. So not just bad communication, there also can be financial hardships. Let's say you co-own a female, and the week's coming up where you got to do a C-section. And the emergency C-sections can run you anywhere from $600 plus. So you're really relying on your partner to split the cost with you. But then your partner calls you up and says he can't help you because that same week that she's getting the C-section, he has to pay his dues and pay his child support to his baby mama. So, I mean, one little mistake like that can really throw you off. So those are just some of the negatives of of co-owning a dog. So there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to it. Now, the word co-own brings up a lot of connotations. Sometimes it can just be money involved, strictly money. And once that stipulation is met, financially, usually one of the parties signs over the dog to the other one. Or pupbacks can be involved, litters can be involved. Once the stipulations are met, they sign over the dog to the other person so they can have complete ownership. there's different versions of co-owning a dog. Uh, but I'm gonna talk about what I think a co-own should be. For me, um, and I think it's important that you're open to different ideas of what a co-own can be. Um, that way you can discuss and decide on what is the best version of a co-own for you and your business partner. Uh, so let's get started. First, let me say that a co-own for me will always be co-owning a stud. It will never be a female. Now, why do I think this? Well, I think this because, when you put too much work into something and then you see the fruits of your labor at the end, you just, you got to give yourself all the credit. That's just how I see it. If you work hard for something and you achieve it, uh, give yourself the credit. Give yourself the credit and be proud of it. So I feel like with a female, you know, uh, taking her to C-sections, taking her to surgicals, uh, timing her progesterone. I feel like all of that's hard work, and I don't mean to brag or to offend anyone, but if I do all that hard, if I put all the time in my female, I want to be the only one that obtains the credit for it. I just think a female is more special than a stud, in my opinion, of course. Now, when it comes to a stud, I'm more open to the idea of co-owning a stud. But the way I would do it is I would co-own him. And there would be certain stipulations. Once those stipulations are met, then the stud would be signed over to complete ownership to the other party. Now, those stipulations for me would be, especially if it's a nice stud. If it's a nice stud that has potential and that I think can really generate money, I would want the first 10, well, I wouldn't say 10 because that's relatively high. I would say at least we would open him for 10 slots at his intro rate. Let's say his intro rate is 1,000. Now, out of those 10 slots, I would want 5. Once those 5 slots are met, and I get my money, my half, then I would sign over the stud for complete ownership to the other party. So whatever stud fees he gets apart from mine would be his money. That's how I see it. Because I really think, in my opinion, of course, let's say like a really good dog in the game, like Crown. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Crown. He's a really great stud. He has nice structure. He has nice color. He has girth to him. And, he's just all around excellent stud. I know he has a lot of offspring, and he has a lot of good looking sons. Now, the way I see it is, if I wanted some Crown blood in my yard, I wouldn't breed to any of his sons because he produced that. I would go right to the source. I would go to Crown himself, even though his fee might be higher, and I'm sure it will be higher than his son's, I would go to the source. If I know Crown produced something like that with the right female, then I know I can get something like that. I wouldn't want to go to breed to one of his best sons, or you know, I would go straight to the source. So that's how I see it. That's why I don't like the idea of owning a stud, and I'm more open to co-owning a stud. And if we co-own a stud, if I co-own a stud, it would have to be a stud that I produce here at the camp. It wouldn't be no outside dog that I bring into my camp to co-own. Now let's talk about how I would go about it. And this is the only way that I would be open to the idea of co-owning a dog. I would find a family that I rely on, that I trust personally, that have always wanted an American Bully, a nice American Bully puppy. I would give them the dog free of charge, but I would stay with the paperwork. I would get them registered under my name. Once the stipulations are met and I get my 5 slots, then I sign the dog for complete ownership over to the family. That way we both benefit from the co-ownership. They get a free dog, and I get my part of the deal. So there you have it, guys. That's what I think a co-own should look like if I was to do it. You know, there's a lot of versions of co-owning a dog. You know, and everyone has their own version. That's just my version, and that's how I would do it. If I have a real nice male puppy that I think will have potential in the future, you know, then I'll be willing to co-own him with the right person, you know. Yeah, there you have it. That's all for this video. My litter just dropped last night, so you know, I'm excited. And y'all stay tuned for a video update on the litter. She dropped a 4-piece, and these pups are thick. So yeah, guys, y'all take care, and I'll see y'all later.